welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic on an absolutely beautiful spring day here in the UK. I have my window open today, so sorry there might be a little bit of bird noise coming in from outside, and maybe maverick noise as well if he decides to buzz past my window. But I hope you'll forgive me, it's too nice a day to have the window shut. Now, what have we got for you Sudoku-wise today? We have a puzzle called Downward Spiral, which has been recommended to us a few times actually, and it's by the Sudoku Skunk Works. Of course it is. Now, the Sudoku Skunk Works, I'm informed, is actually a collaboration. It's a team of setters, many of which you will have heard of. So we've got Virtual, Sotek, Exion Risk, Riff Clown, Bremster, and Eclectic Hoosier. So apparently that group of setters have got together and made this puzzle. And I am noticing as I stare at it that there is a spiral thing going on in the grid. Look, if I sort of go round like that, you can see it sort of spirals out, which is rather pretty. Anyway, this puzzle is meant to be approachable. So if you watched yesterday's video, you will have seen I had to do battle with an extraordinary Sudoku, one of the best Sudokus we've ever featured on the channel. It was by Emre Kalotoglu and it was called German Whisper Cages. It took me 100 minutes to solve, and I don't think that was too terrible. It was magnificent start to finish, but apparently I've been given something slightly easier today, and for that, thank you. Now, I don't have much news. What I do need to do today, though, is to say thank you to some people, because many of you will know this, but we released a book. This is it. It's very beautiful. We're very proud of it. But we couldn't have done this without the help of some very special people. And I said thank you to some of those people the other day, and I want to say thank you to more of them today. So thank you very much to St. Johnny von Polymath, one of the great names. Thank you, St. Johnny. To Richard Barley, to Emanuele Juliana. I think Emanuele is a very good solver. I think I've seen Emanuele's name on lots of emails to do with very hard puzzles. To Brian Dromgoole and his partner Teresa Hart and his children Caitlin, Daniel, Michael, Andrew and Anna. To Ken De Gernal, I hope I'm getting your surname right, Ken. To Jacob Andre, to Benjamin Wood, to Brian Heteroth, to Alex Musino, to Albert Stanfield from the Pacific Northwest, no less, and from Dominic, I need to say thank you to Dominic Kazuski as well. Now, Dominic asked me to read a message, which I'm happy to do, and the message is intriguing. It is the following. Alice, may your exams be easy and your furry friends boopable. Whatever that means. The mind boggles. Anyway, there you go. So thanks very much to all of you. Seriously, we are very grateful for all your help in getting that book done. Now, I could tell you about other things as well. There's a whole load of stuff going on Patreon, but I've mentioned it in recent days, and I'll mention it more in the coming days. So why don't we kick straight off with Downward Spiral, and I'll read you the rules. They are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits on a purple line must be a set of consecutive non-repeating digits in any order. Now, all of the purple lines today are very similar. They are 4 cells long and in an L shape. So imagine we worked out that this cell was a 1. Then we would know that this purple line must contain the digits 1, 2, 3 and 4 because the digits on it have to be consecutive. Now, unlike thermometer clues, which we sometimes have on the channel, the 2, 3 and 4 that we put on this line can be in any order, so we could do that, for example. That would be a completely legitimate way of filling the Remban line. Just make sure you don't repeat digits and you make sure the digits are consecutive. Cells separated by a black dot contain digits with a 1:2 ratio. So some people get confused about this, by the way. It's very simple. Don't worry about the whole ratio aspect of this. Just think about a domino like this. One of the digits must be double the other one. That is all that rule is saying. So if this was a 2, that could be a 1, and then we'd have 2 being double 1, or it could be a 4, and 4 would be double 2. They would both be legitimate ways of filling in the black dot. Cells separated by a white dot must contain consecutive digits. So if this was a 3, that could be a 2 or a 4. and not all possible dots are given. So all that's there to do is to say, imagine you found out that this was a 4 and this was a 5. You might worry that there was no white dot between these two cells. It's absolutely fine. There's no white dot. All we're being told is positive information about these dominoes here and these black dominoes as well. We can absolutely have consecutive digits elsewhere and ratios of 1 to 2 elsewhere. We just know that these specific ones definitely have the relationships mentioned. Now, there's one other point about this puzzle which I should tell you. Apparently, there is a discovery that we are going to make when we solve this. I have no clue what that means. Whether we'll find a black hole in the middle of the spiral or something, I do not know. But find a discovery and you'll have understood what's going on. Let us do this together. Let us try and discover what's going on. And do have a go at the puzzle. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And we shall start with... It does look a bit Fistomaphelian, doesn't it? Except that this spiral piece here is not quite in the right place. So I suppose there's nothing really we can say about a 4-cell Renban. Let's just think about that for a moment. So the way I conceptualize Renban is I imagine a string of 9 digits lined up in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all in a line. Now, if we're going to cut a sequence of 4 somewhere along the line, you can see there's no need for there necessarily, for example, to be a 5 within that cut. Whereas if it was a 5-cell Renban, you always know a 5-cell Renban must have a 5 in it, because however you cut the 5 digits from the numbers 1 to 5, you'll always find the 5 is in the sequence. Now, a 4-cell Renban doesn't have that property, so I think we know basically nothing about these 4-cell Renbans. So the dots are going to have to be massively powerful. So I'm guessing we either start here or here. Now, I am going to prefer to start here because I can see something parity related. So what is the property of a 4-cell Renban line? Well, it must have 2 odd digits and 2 even digits on it, because if you take 4 consecutive digits from anywhere along the entire number sequence in the universe, even if we start with 10,472 and we go 10,473, etc., you will find 2 of the digits are odd, 2 of the digits are even, and I know something about a white dot. This is telling me that these 2 digits are consecutive, so that contains an odd and an even digit. So this black dot contains an odd and an even digit, and that means that it's not a 4-8 pair, which was one of its options before we realised this. So this has to have an odd digit on it, so it's either 1, 2, or it's 3, 6. Yeah, here comes Maverick right now. And now, if it's 1, 2, we would know there was a 1 on the Renban, so this would have to be a 3, 4 pair. And if it's 3, 6, this would have to be 4, 5. So there's always a 4 on this Renban. That's quite cute. Okay. And this 4 in one of these 2 cells is looking at this black dot. So now this black dot can't be 2, 4 and can't be 4, 8. And that means that this black dot also has an odd number on it, because all of the other options for black dottage have an odd number on them. There's only 4 ways of filling a black dot in a Sudoku. 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, 8, 3, 6. Things like 5, 10, however we might like them to exist, don't yet. We haven't evolved to that point in the world of Sudoku. So again, if this is 1, 2, that's got to be 3, 4 again. Oh, in fact, look, there's a white dot here. So we can be much more specific about this Renban. If this is 1, 2, what it cannot be is 1, 2 in that order, because then this will have to be a 2 as well, and that won't work. So if this is 1, 2, we need to have the 1 on top of the 2, and then the 2 can be next to a 3, and then the 4 will be the final digit on the Renban. But if this is 3, 6, this will have to be 4, 5, so we've got to reinstate the 4 here and put 5 in both of those cells. So again, there's always got to be a 4 in this domino here, because it's either part of a 1, 2, 3, 4 sequence, or it's part of a 4, 5 pair to meet the 3, 6 that we've got in there. Which means that this black dot cannot have a 4 on it. So this black dot also has an odd number on it again. So this is either 1, 2 or 3, 6. Right. Okay, and I can tell you something about this. That is not a 3, 6 pair. Because if it was a 3, 6 pair, what digit are we going to put in this cell? Because if this is 3, 6, this has to be a 2, which means this is a 1, 2, 3 sequence, and the 3 will clash with the 3, 6 we've got in there. So this is in fact a 1, 2 pair, which means that's not a 2. It means that's not a 2, which means that's not a 1. This is a 3, 6 pair, which means this is a 4, 5 pair, which means this is a 3, 6 pair, and it means 3, 6, so this is a 4, 5 pair. And we've actually made a bit of progress. We've got a 1, 2, 4, 5 quadruple in row 8. And is that telling me something? Mark would pencil mark this cell. I refuse to do it. It has 5 different options, and that means this has got more than 5 options. So that's weird. Actually, that's weird. I don't think this is... I'm probably about to say something very stupid, but what I'm going to say is I don't think this has helped us at all. I'm now wondering whether what I'm meant to do is to do the spiral in that way. Maybe I should have... No, I couldn't have known anything about this to start with. But all I'm seeing is that at least I know something about this Renban now, whereas I don't think I know anything about any other Renban in the puzzle. Not only do I know that... Yeah, this is really cute. This is really cute. Let's look at this Renban, because we know it can't have 3 or 6 in any of those cells. So ask the question, is it possible there is no 3 and no 6 on this Renban? And the answer to that is surely no, because again, if we imagine our list of digits, 1 to 9 in order, and we take out the 3 and we take out the 6, how could we possibly make a sequence of 4 digits anymore? We couldn't. There's only 2 digits below 3, there's only 2 digits between 3 and 6, and there's only 3 digits after 6, which are 7, 8 and 9, and that's not 4 digits. So that's a 3 or a 6, and that's on a black dot. That's really beautiful. There must be a 3 or a 6 on this Renban. I'm actually wondering if that's the point of this. So that's a 3, 6 here now. Oh, look, this is it. This is the discovery. This is the discovery. This is beautiful. There's a 3, 6 here, which puts a 3, 6 at the end of this Renban. Now there's a 3, 6 here. So where are we putting the 3 or the 6, or the 3 and the 6 that we know must exist on this Renban? Well, they can't go in those cells, so that's got to be a 3 or a 6. And that's much more restricted than if we approached this from the other direction and looked at this digit and then sort of put in all the options for this one. So now this... Oh, yeah, this can't be 3. That can't be 3 anymore, because this would have to be 2 or 4, and it sees those digits in a row. That's beautiful. So that's 6, that's 6, that's 3. Oh, this is lovely. This is lovely. This can't be 5, because 5's in the row. This is 7, but look, I'm more excited about the fact that I've got 3 and 6 looking at this now. So this is the 3 or 6 that must exist on this 4-cell Renban has to go here. Oh, yeah, 3, 6 in the column. So there's got to be a 3, 6 on this Renban, which now can't be there, so it must be here, which is on a black dot. This has been put together with such panache, frankly. Panache is what this is, because now there's a 3, 6 pair that's emerged in row 4, looking at this Renban, which must have a 3 or a 6 in it. That gives me a 3, 6 on its tip, which gives me a 3, 6 on the black dot. So now this Renban has actually got it's got a 3 or a 6 on it. So it could have another one. But I don't think we can... Can we propagate this logic again? I'm not sure. My brain is not telling me how to do it. But anyway, that was beautiful. So the whole idea, I think, of this is to sort of work your way around the spiral, noticing that you've got to keep putting 3 6s in the sort of in the foothills of Italy each time. Now, that's a 5 because it's got to be consecutive with 6. So that's 5. That's 4. Now, what do we do? The answer is I don't know. We could... Maybe we've got to look at this row. We need 3, 8 and 9. Oh yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. Oh, in fact, look, this is simpler. We've got to put 3 in column 8. That's got to be a 3. We need to do Sudoku. Of course we do. Now there's a 3 in one of those dots in the middle box. Right, I understand. This puzzle is slowly clicking with me. Yeah, this is right. This black dot is not 3 6. And the reason for that is rather beautiful. If this is a 3 6 pair, this cell is broken because it sees those 2 cells. And the thing about these 2 cells is they are on a Renban. So one of the characteristics of these is that they are different numbers. And if they're different numbers, this is a 3 6 pair and both of them see the central cell of the grid, ruling it out from being 3 and 6. That is very cute. So the 3 must be here, which means the white dot relationship means this is 2 or 4. Now, that's on a black dot, which means this square. What you can't do, look, is go 2, 1, because that's going to give this no option. So if this is 2, that has to be 4. And if this is 4, this could be 2, or it could be 8. That's got to be a 3 or a 6. Oh, no. I was hoping that was going to get rid of 8, but it doesn't actually. 6, 8, there would be a 7 in this domino. Okay. So, 3 here is resolved. More Sudoku. That's a 6, that's a 3. Oh, well that gets rid of 8. Because, yeah, you can't put 8 and 3 on a 4-cell Renban. So this is a 2 or a 4. There's a 2-4 pair in column 5. So this is a 1. This is a 2. There's got to be a 2 up there. You can't put 2 on a 4 on a Renban with a 6, can you? 6, 5, 4. No, you can only get down as low as 3. In fact, look at that. You can't put 3 on this Renban here because of the 3 6 pair in row 3. So the minimum this Renban could be would be 4, 5, 6, 7. So there must be a 7 on this Renban. Not sure if that's useful or not. Aha! That square cannot be a 3. Because if it was a 3, what would the nature of its Renban be? It would have to have a 4 on it. It's a 4-cell Renban. So even if you minimise the digits on it, they're 1, 2, 3 and 4. And you can't put 4 on that Renban. So that can't be, it's simply impossible for it to be a 3. That's 6, that's 3. So that's 3 and that's 6. Oh, that's a weird deadly pattern that we've just unwound. There's no 3 on this Renban, so this Renban needs a 7 on it. There's a 7 here, so that's got to be a 7 in one of those 2 cells. There's got to be a 7 on this Renban, because again it can't have a 3 on it. So the 7 in this Renban's got... Oh, look, no, better. There's got to be a 7 on this Renban. That's right, isn't it? 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, it has to have a 7 on it, so that's got to be the 7 there. So that's no longer a 7. We've got a 7 in one of those two cells, so there's a 7 in one of these two cells. Now, this Renban must be interesting now, because it can't have a 4 on it. So it could have a 5 on it. It's either 5, 7, 8, or it's 6. It's either 5, 7, 8 here, or it's 7, 8, 9 here. So it's definitely got 7 and 8 into those three cells, which means that square is not a 7, which means this square is a 7, which means this square is not a 7, which means 7, 7, that square is a 7 by the power of Sudoku. Not the power of Grayskull. We don't need that yet. 7 is in one of those. I think it could be on here if this is a 6. 5 has to be... Right, that fixes this Renban. We've got 5s going into this domino. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah. Because there's a 5 here, we now know this Renban is 5, 7, 8. But look, yeah, we've got 5, 7 in those squares by pencil marks. So that's a 5, 7 pair, and this is an 8. And now there's no 8 on this Renban, which fixes its nature, because we know it's got a 7 on it. And if it can't have an 8 on it, it must be the consecutive digits from 7, 6, 5, and 4. So these digits are 7, 5, 4, and that one is not 7. So these squares have got to be 1s, 2s, and 9s. And, oh, I see, the same is true in this column, I think. 1, 2, and 9 into the gaps. I might be wrong about that, but that feels like, by Sudoku, that's what we're looking at. Which, I can get rid of 1 here. If this Renban has a 1 on it, it's got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 2 will have to be in one of those two cells, which will clash. So that can't be 1. If this is 2, 3, you'd have to put 4, 5 here, which would have to be this way round. 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. You get loads of things going on. I'm not sure that those things that would be going on are not possible things to go on. So 7. What about, this has got to be an even digit because it's next to an odd digit on a consecutive square. So that's got to be 4, 6, or 8. And that's very annoying. It can't be 8 because there must be an 8 in one of those two cells. So that square is not 8. So it's 4 or 6. Which is probably important in some way I can't see. Now, where do we look next? 3, 1, 4. Oh dear. I think I'm getting stuck here. What do we know, if anything, about... It must be one of these Renbans, I think, that we can probably learn more about. Oh no, hang on, what about Sudoku? I've got an 8, 9 pair in row 8. So these digits have got to be from 1, 2, 4, and 5. So we can get rid of what you can't put 1 or 2 on this Renban, so that's a 4 or a 5, which means it has got a digit lower than 6 on it, so this is not 7, 8, 9. So it's either 6, 4 and then a 5, 7 pair, or it's 6, 5 and then that could be 4, 7, or it could be 7, 8. It's still got options then. This one. 2. Ah, okay. This one can't be 3, 2 anymore. Because if it's 3, 2, we can't put 1 in this domino, so it would have to be a 4, 5 pair, and that would break that cell. So this is not 3, 2. So this is 6. Oh, 6 and 9, because it can't be 6 and 2. They're too far apart. So this is 6, 9, and that's 7, 8. Oh, which does nothing. Oh, no, it does. It gets me an 8 here by Sudoku. Gets rid of a 9 in this square. Gets rid of a 9 in this square. So this has got to be a 1 or a 2. Ah, okay. There's a small point there, isn't there, in row 7. Where do the 1s and 2s go in row 7? Well, they can't go here. So they have to go in those 2 cells. So that square's got to not be 4 or 5, which means that square has got to be 4 or 5. And oh, okay. Has that done enough damage to get us? This 6 is getting me some digits at the top of the grid by the power of Sudoku. So 6 and 3 go in, which that gets me a 3 here by the power of Sudoku. So I've done all the 3s in the grid. How am I doing with 6s? The answer is I'm not doing badly, but I'm not doing brilliantly either. There's a 6 in one of those 2 cells. Oh, I can get 6 in the middle box. It's got to go there. So that's 6, and there are all the 6s done. So 3s and 6s are done. I feel like that must be 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, so now there must be a 2 on this Renban, I think, because it can't have a 6 on it. So 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4 are the sort of options. So there's definitely a 2 in one of those cells. No, it's still not cracking, is it? Still giving me a little bit of recalcitrance. So how do we finish the puzzle? What is it that we're meant to realise? Oh, 6 is looking at that square, so that's got to be 4 now. Ah, which resolves the 5 and the 7. And the 4 and the 2 in the middle. Oh, that's better. Right, right, yeah. I've just worked out there was a 2 on that Renban. It can't be there anymore, so that's a 2. This has got to either be 1 or 5, depending on whether this is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 2, 3, 4, 5. This 2 is seeing this digit, so that's a 1, which means that's a 2, and that's a 1, and that's a 2. Aha! 1, 9 pair here, so this is a 2. These squares here are 2. Oh, I see there's sort of a 2, 4, 5 triple in the box that's still not resolved. Come on. We must. I think we're getting slowly closer, aren't we? We still haven't cracked the puzzle, but we're not as far away as we were. Do we know enough about this Renban? Ah, yeah, there's something interesting. This can't be a 4, 5 pair because that will break this digit. So that means the lowest. You could put 5 here, but not 4. So 5, 6, 7, 8. There must be an 8 in this domino. Which means there must be an 8 in this domino. And... oh, 2. 2 I can unwind pencil marks, so that's got to be a 2. How many 2s have we got? Lots. Yeah, we can keep going with 2s. That's got to be a 2. And... that means this has got to be a 2. So all the 2s are now done. I've got a 4, 5 pair here. 4, 5 pair there. If I knew what this Renban was, it might tell me whether this was an 8 or not. We still don't seem to be quite finished. That square's got to be a 1 or a 9 just to complete column 2. These squares have got to be 1, 8 or 9. Ah! Okay. 1s? Can we do something with 1? Oh, look. Yes, we can. Where does 1 go in box 3? It can't go on that rem band, so that's a 1. It can't go on this rem band, so that's a 1. Yeah, 1s might be profitable here. 9, 9, 1. That gets us down to a 1, 8 pair here. Which might be... Yes, where does 1 go in box 2? It's got to go there. Now that means a 1 is placed, and this did become a 1, 2, 3, 4 rem band, so that's 1 and 8 now. All the 1s in the grid are now done. And we can celebrate that fact by getting rid of 4 there. And we can... Where else should we look? I'm trying to do this efficiently and failing miserably, aren't I? Have I used all my dots? Have we fully exploited the dottage? I think we probably have. 3, 4, 5, 7, 9 into these squares. Let's actually just fill those in and see if we can... Can't put 9 on this rem band because it needs to have a 4 or a 5 on it. So that's just 5 or 7. So does there need to be... Yeah, there's now got to be a 5 on this rem band. But that could still be the 9 in the column. There are 2 places for 9 in column 9. Oh, I've got a 4, 5 pair in column 7, so that's got to be an 8 or an... Ah, blimey, that's surprising. So I've got an 8, 9 pair in column 7, but this cell is seeing an 8 on that rem band, so that's got to be 9. That tells me that this rem band's got to have 5 and 8 to finish it. You can never reach 4, which means that's the 4. Good grief. So now I've got a 5, 7 pair in this box. This is very clever. And now this has got to be a 4, 8 pair, and the 5 in this row has got to move over onto the left-hand side. So now that square's become a 9 out of nowhere. And that 4 is resolving the 8 and the 4. And I think that's huge, isn't it? Because that's getting a 7 and an 8 into those squares, a 7 and a 5 into these squares. This 4 is quite useful. That's fixing the whole of box 8. This square needs to be an 8 by Sudoku. This is a 5, 7, 9 triple, so that's 5, and this is a 7, 9 pair. And... Ah, come on. Give up now. I think you're beaten. I think you are. Right. Yes, okay, that digit is now obviously a write-in. That's got to be a 4. How many 4s have we got? Several. Not all of them until we put that one in. Okay. So this needs to be a 7 or an 8. And it can't be 8 because there's a 4 and a 6 on the rem band. So that's got to be 7. Which means that's 5, that's 5, that's 8. This is 9, that's 9, that's 7. And the last digit in the puzzle should be an 8 into that cell. And that is a very pretty puzzle indeed. A downward spiral. I reckon that some of you will get that done really, really fast, because I have a feeling if you approach it the correct way, the spiral probably just unwinds itself very naturally. And I was having to jump about a bit on the rem bands. But what I think I do appreciate about that is this beautiful point that we found very close to the start, which is that apparently a 4-cell rem band line must have a 3 and or a 6 on it. And that allowed us to place loads and loads of little digits around the spiral and sort of got us started on the logic. The other bit of this that I really thought was beautiful was the trick here, where we could rule a 3-6 pair out of that black dot. That was lovely as well. That's a quality puzzle. A great, I love puzzles like that, where you sense that the collaboration has made that puzzle into what it is. It's just, it's a combined brain power that's just been exerted upon it to give us something really, really gorgeous to get our teeth into. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments. I do enjoy reading them, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.